everyone. My name is Nick East, the founder and CEO of the Nick Ricardo Collection, as well as the programming board member for the San Francisco StartOut Committee. We have Brooke and Wright joining us today. So as soon as she joins with us, we're going to have a conversation on what does the future look like for queer entrepreneurs. So let's see. Hello here, and there we are.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, Nick. You gave me a reason to put on a clean shirt and
I
get.
was going to say you look very dapper today.
I don't get to dress up anymore, so I feel like if I'm gonna talk to Nick, I might as well.
Hey, I love that. I love that. How's everything going with you? I know, for instance, I'm sure the people who are joining us are probably looking like, who is this guy with all this on
You
his
look,
face? This does not
you
look
look.
like the picture that was being advertised. But let me tell you, people, it is COVID-19. Okay, this is what COVID-19 looks like.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm good. I think it's a perfect time to be extremely internal with your work, right? Like get your mind right, get your spirit right. I'm doing a lot of gardening and getting right with spirit, and like just hanging out. So all good here. And I think it's in waves, right? Like there is an amount of depression and ups and downs that kind of go with that. And so, just trying to go with the flow, my friend.
You're
How about
exactly right. You're exactly right. I think it's very important for us I kind of stopped having plans for the day and I just been kind of going with the flow. Because I just, to be internalized and to just be, working on yourself during this whole time is very important. And that's key, especially for mental health. And, I'm a huge advocate when it comes to mental health. So I'm
yeah,
all about it.
all about it. Yeah, same.
But yes, Brooklyn, tell us who you are. Boy Society, Brooke and Wright. Who are you?
Yeah, so I'm a brand sales and marketing strategist for a long time. I got into sales very early. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 7, right? I was the kid who had the popcorn and Kool-Aid stand outside the house.
You had the Skittles in the
Employed.
locker room, middle school. In the
Yeah, oh,
locker, you had the Skittles.
yeah. Like I have a story of my father used to get so mad because there used to be this kid on the bus when I was in kindergarten that used to sell gum, and I was the consumer of gum, so I was overpaying for gum, and he hated that so much that I think he kind of instilled this need in me to really understand how business works and what that means, and supply and demand, et cetera. And so I've been doing business a very long time, and then really realized, I think, as I got older, that I didn't necessarily want to be a CEO, that it takes a lot of work to jump off a new company all the time and be that person. But I'm the perfect Robin to somebody else's Batman, right? So I become the person who comes on and helps you with your marketing, helps you with your strategy, helps connect you to understanding how your sales works. And that's worked really well for me. And now I just, trying to invest and retire early, my friend.
Amen. I feel that. Retire early. I love that. Creating that generational wealth so we can retire early and help other people retire early as well.
That's it. You got it.
So you are born and raised here in the Bay Area?
No, I am actually born on the East Coast. I am born in Tennessee, grew up in North Carolina and Delaware. And so that happened because my mom was an alumni director for historically Black colleges. So, my Blackness is deep rooted.
Right. Love that.
Deep
Which
rooted.
college?
Fisk, North Carolina Central, and Delaware State University are all historically Black. And then I married my wife I met my wife at 17. She was in Nebraska. Yeah, she was in Nebraska. So I was like, I'm out. I'm going to go to Nebraska and hang out. Yeah, I'm like, this pretty lady. I'm going to go out there. And we stayed there for a decade. And then my 30th birthday, we actually moved to the Bay. A job wanted me to open some stores for them. I was general manager of a car dealership at the time. And so I came out here. I had never heard of the Bay in my entire life. And so here I am.
That is so awesome. I did not know that you were from Tennessee. I'm actually born and raised in Kentucky. So we're pretty much neighbors. Yeah. So I'm from Central
That's it.
Kentucky there. Yeah. But it's funny because my father, he was actually a football coach for Kentucky State University, which is actually a historical Black college as well. So that's so deeply rooted in the Blackness as well, especially like, you know, in the Southern state, you know, you really got to be rooted in the Blackness to kind of hold your own, especially in the South. So yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
So
And I think it's something about that education too that comes in and makes a big difference.
for sure, absolutely. Just definitely like understanding your history, your backbone. We got this. But I'm so excited to really start this conversation with you. You know, as we know, the economy, you know, certain parts of the states are starting to open back up, and not all of, you know, United States, but we like to take this time to really think about what does it look like for queer businesses, queer entrepreneurs, and especially queer people of color when it comes to reopening the state. What does the economy look like for us and moving forward in the future? So we wanted to ask you that, Brooklyn Wright.
Yeah, a lot of pressure for me to tell all the world what to do.
Well, you know, you're doing the thing here in the Bay Area. So when this came up, you know, in a meeting, the first person I thought of was you. I was like, if anyone is going to be able to let the world know and to really vouch and fight and tell us what is up with the queer people of color entrepreneurs, Brooklyn Wright.
Well, first of all, I'm honored that I would be the name that comes up for that. But I think so. So a couple of things that I think are going to be really important, especially, and my lens is always going to be for queer people of color, because I think we have a very unique lens when it comes to business. So I think number one, you're just going to have to be flexible and be ready to pivot. No one absolutely knows what's going on. Our government is unclear, right? I think we believe, especially as people of color and queer people, women, etc. I think we believe that there's this system that's big and knows what's happening, and they're really controlling the purse strings and the things that are going on. And it's very clear to me that especially this administration, they don't know what the hell they're doing. So I think it's very key that we're going to need to be able to be very rooted in what we know. We're going to need to be able to pivot when the time comes to pivot, right? There's going to be money on the table. There's going to be things that they're handing out and giving out. We're going to want to be agile, right? Number one. I think number two, you're going to have to collect all your coins, boo-boo. If they are giving away unemployment, go get that. If they are giving away whatever they're giving away to businesses, get in line for that. Be quick, be early.
Yes.
And then just don't wait. I think those are going to be super key and super important. And again, I think it's if someone's giving away, you know, I think just also as communities, right? As communities, we're seeing community efforts to give funds funds specifically to businesses. Now is not the time to be silent. I think as business owners, and this again, as Black and brown people, we tend to be on the back end. We tend to be a little more silent. We can be a little more internal, right? It's not always popular to be the loud person at the front of the room. Yeah. But now is the time to get loud about what you need, about who you need. It's going to take a level of trust too that I think we're not totally aware of, or we're not always used to doing. And again, I think that's going to be trust in your customers, trust in your neighbors, trust in your friends. I'm definitely telling our tribe, group economics, that's where it is. Like, understand everyone's business is not going to work, right? When Airbnb is laying off 25% of their employees, when I think Uber may be next, when Disney's furloughing people, like when we're seeing the big boys have huge change, we're in a position where we don't know what the hell's going on.
Right.
So it's okay to close your doors, right? It's okay to shift to something else. It is not a reflection on you or who you are or how it is. Boo-boo, if that shit ain't making no money, get the hell up out of there and go make some money. Like 100%.
Yes.
Games. Do not put your ego down, because I think a lot of this can be an ego thing, right? Especially entrepreneurship now. is based off of ego, right? And it's why everybody wants to be the CEO. They don't want to be, the second person on the line. Like, so I definitely would say put your ego down, get your money, protect yourself. Protect yourself too, right? Because this, I'm in the entertainment business. A lot of our events and stuff like that, they're done, right? Like we have to completely re-envision what entertainment looks like, what community looks like. And so again, like it's okay to do it completely different. I think in the meantime, definitely protect yourself, protect your staff, protect your customers, make sure everyone's following those rules. And I think it's educate yourself enough that you're not relying on the government to tell you what protection is, right? You're not,
I mean, we've seen that before, as queer people, especially queer people of color within business and in a lot of avenues, we've seen that where we have been left behind before. So that trust for government assistance sometimes is not there. I mean, we see it, especially when it comes to, our Black women here in America. We're always the last ones to ever be represented in anything. So when it comes to business like this, you're right, we have got to own our own, do our thing. And if unfortunately, if something that you're doing is just not working right now, then shut the doors, like you said. That's actually a really good key piece of advice. Love that.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's about so much about duality right now, right? Like, yes, I'm trying to get whatever, I'm in line for whatever money may be out there to be in line for, but then I'm also understanding that may not ever come, right? Like, I'm trying to be highs and lows. I'm trying to have compassion and empathy, and yet I'm trying to be diligent. Like, you're just going to be playing on both sides of the fence, and that is not easy to do. I think I'd also say is that people should build community, right? If you need to get with your community and figure out who your players are, who your friends are, who your comrades are going to be, and start putting some money up, right? Like we spread a lot of information and time, and we like to get around and chat. But I think now if this economy starts to really break down in the way that it just is likely to be, you get 5 friends together that's got $5,000, and you guys are going to be able to actually build a future for yourself.
Yes, you're exactly right. That this what you're saying right here is so key. This kind of brings me back to the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, and that happened then. It can happen now. We can get Black investors. Whether it's not, you don't have to have millions on deck or anything like that. But whether we can just come together, 5,000, you get 5,000, you get 5,000. What can we create here? Let's co-create something and call it our own, and for the community, by the community type thing.
Absolutely, and I think I think, again, as brown and Black entrepreneurs, we have this tendency to believe that we've got to kind of build this thing from scratch, right? We're very inventive. So we love clothing lines. We love things that we just kind of pull up out the ground, right? We watch Damon John, Everyone's For Us, Buy Us, T-shirt company. Exactly. I think there's a real opportunity to get into some things that are already working, right? For me, if these real estate prices start to drop, for $25,000, we could pick up a cute 4-plex somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, we can get up in here and like really, really make a difference. And again, like you said, I mean, I'm not huge on what has happened in the world financially with VCs and capital investment. Anything where you have to take $1 million investment in order to build something, that's not how it used to be back in the day, right? That's something that started happening when Obama came into the land and started doing quantitative easing and some things that, Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about, but some things that really changed the way business happened. And so, I would like to see us specifically people who don't have access to those huge funds and those huge capital investments to just sit around the table, break some bread, put up $5,000 and make something happen. And so, yeah, I think those are my big key. And I'll say one more is to also just maximize the power of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of business owners have been late to get online, right? They were still trying to act like the internet was not the best thing on the planet. But we're seeing that the internet is the great equalizer, at least for now, until they start to get their hands on it. You know, get your marketing together. I think that's one that people just leave on the back burner. Get online, find your customers, talk to them, slide in those DMs, whatever you got to do, and just build with people you're going to trust long term. The next 10 years is really going to.
Yeah, I think right now is definitely, we're actually really seeing the power of the internet right now on digital platforms. Recently, my Instagram account gotten hacked and I had to start all over again. Yeah, I know, but it's fine. You know, I see the positive things, you know, so I'm rebuilding community again. So, you know, just the engagement, and I'm seeing like the power of it. So yes, though I think people do kind of take for granted the power of the internet, but slide in those DMs, let people know who you are, be loud on the internet. And especially, you know, us queer entrepreneurs and queer entrepreneurs of color, we have to be loud sometimes. And sometimes we are just reserved, but it's because, you know, sometimes the system has told us that, oh, you know, we can put your business kind of on the back burner here. And, you know, the system has told us these things. So we need to we need to invest in ourselves, and we need to let people know who we are. So I'm so here for it. And I'm so glad that we were able to talk about this. Did you have any other advice or anything else that you have for other queer entrepreneurs of color out there who are trying?
Well, I feel like I spilled them. Say again. I think I spilled them out really fast. I think right now, again, I would say if you want to really open up a business, I think get your plan together very, very well. Like, do not be out here playing games, right? Like 2 years ago, people were quitting jobs, thinking that was okay, and having no plan how they were ever gonna make any money.
Right.
So don't have your ass out here playing boo boo the fool. Number one. I think again, get with some professionals. If you are going to try to start a business brand new right now, get your MVP together, right? Meaning you just get that one thing that you can prove, this is the one thing that I'm gonna sell, and if people start buying this, then I know I have a business. Mm-hmm. Do that and get with some professionals that know what they're doing, right? You can slide in my DM all the time. I'll give you some free advice because I be in the house bored.
In the house board, like, I'm in the house board.
Yeah, exactly. So like definitely it's gonna be key, but I also think that cash is king right now. So if you do not have any money, it is not time to get out here and start doing weird stuff, right? There are just better ways that I think you can invest your money. I think honestly, if you're a newbie, think about partnering with somebody else. There are business owners who are already moving who could use some extra time, who could use some extra people on the team. And you can actually start to build with someone that's already moving. If not, if you're going to be out here on your own, again, cash is king. Make sure you've got enough money to like weather a storm, I think.
Right. You're exactly right. You know, I think it's time for us to kind of be our own, you know, VCs with our own community. Like, you know, hey, Brooklyn, I got $5,000 for this. Well, I got, you know, 5 too. What can we do? Let's do something. Let's create.
Yeah, let's do it, Nick. Like real talk. Like let that be the start. You got 5, I got 5.
I mean, I think you got 5 right now. So if you're trying to do something, you know, let's go ahead and.
I'm not playing
games. I know you're not. This is why, I got goosebumps right now, for real. Like, I'm really excited. So, yes, I'm here for it. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, we're looking at land we can purchase within a 2-hour radius of the Bay Area. You know, obviously we've seen it's this. I love the inner city life, but it's not necessarily the safest place to be when you got viruses and other weird stuff happening.
Yes.
It's also some of the most expensive places to be when it comes to getting things done, right? We can go, again, 2 hours within a radius of the bay and buy acres with water for something under $50,000. And we can start building slowly. That it doesn't have to be, you know, these extravagant 0 to 100 type of things. Like it's, you know, we're gonna go 0 to 1. We're gonna go 1 to 2. Natasha Crosby, I see you. You got 5. Let's go. Like this is the time. This is the time for us to come together to do for us. There will be no one to save us. There will be no one to play these games. We are all we've got, and we are also all we need.
That is true. You know, reparations was never given to us, so we're doing our own thing.
That's it. Right.
Yeah.
We can go get our 40 acres right now.
I've got that 40 acres and the mules in the back. Let's do it.
That's it. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Brooklyn, for this great conversation. This was a much needed conversation. I'm really enjoying just having more community. Of course, you know, out there in the outside world, we're not really able to, you know, go out and connect like we used to. So being able to find these virtual communities like this to come together, curate, is really joyous. So thank you so much for agreeing to get on our platform today. And if you are interested in joining the StartOut platform, I advise everyone to go to the website, reach out to your local chapter, and see how you can get involved. We're always having events. And yeah, that is it that we have today. Once again, Brooklyn, thank you so much. And I will be sliding in those DMs very soon.
Yes, I'll talk to you soon, Nick. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye, babe.